Hello, this is Duncan Welder. Welcome back to another 4-minute VTA training video. Today what we're going to do is enter training directly into history. Now there are a few different ways that courses can get into history. They could be scheduled and moved to history, carrying that roster over with them, or online training gets written directly into history by the VTA learner program and would stay in progress until that person completed the course. But sometimes I get a sign-in sheet and I just need to enter that information directly over into history. There's no reason to schedule it and move it because it's already happened. So what I can do is go to my events. So even though I have a history icon on my favorites, I'm going to show you where that is. Under events, I have history. And then I'll see a list of courses that are all in the past, which makes sense because it's history. And I can add to that grid just like anywhere else inside the system. And the first thing I'm going to do is pick a course. So in this case, I'm going to get my new employee orientation course, and I can populate some information down below. One of those things is I'm going to change my date because it happened in the past. I can update things like the times and room locations, but I'm not going to worry about that now because the system does not do conflict checking when you enter something directly into history. So it doesn't really care. It assumes that that's already happened. Here you can see other things that came from the course catalog carried over, like the credit hours for that course. So I don't have to worry about populating those as long as they're populated in the course catalog. So now I can either go to my roster tab or to my general pull-down menu and click on roster, and have three ways here of adding people into that history session. I can just hit the add button at the top of the grid, and that'll allow me to type in someone's name. So if I grab Jacques Peterman there, I could update additional information, say a completion date. If I don't add a completion date, it will use the session date for the course, a certificate number, those kind of things. If I had lessons associated with this course, I would need to update those, at least any required lessons for someone to get credit as well. I very rarely use this method because it is slow. So picking people out one at a time, I either have to hit new and pick the next person or hit OK and hit add again. So what I will normally do is either enroll a group or import. So if I want to enroll a group, what I get to use are filters. So if I just hit apply filter now, it's going to bring up everyone who's active at my Risk Houston site, and I can see that list. Or if I said, gosh, I just really want to see people in the department that's titled administration, I can apply the filter and I get a shorter list there. I can go through, pick a few people, and then assign the group, and it'll tell me I had 3 students enroll as a tent. It assumes that they weren't already on the roster there, so they wouldn't get updated. So I'll hit OK there. Again, those filters all cascade, so I can add multiple filters on and get a pretty customized list, assuming that my student data is good. The third way is to use an import. Now, I already have a import template downloaded, and I'll show you that, but it lets me basically choose a file and then run an import. What that file looks like is this. I can either populate a student ID or a learner logon ID. Those are both unique fields inside the system. So that's my unique identifier for a student. I can include names too, but it's really extraneous at this point. I do have to put in a status because I could have multiple statuses like a no-show or an incomplete for the course, but A for attend is fine in this case. We'll say everybody that was there attended that course, and then these fields out to the right are all optional again. So if I wanted to include a certificate number, if I wanted to override someone's credit hour or something like that, I could do that. But I'll leave all those as they are. And what I'll do is I'll choose my file, and I have one saved that's already cleverly titled History Roster Template. So once I select that guy it will go through and I'll get a little message when it's finished uploading. And I can hit run import and it will go through. And in this case, it tells me 26 people were added. That's the number of people I had in my spreadsheet, so that's good. If there were people that were already on the roster, and it would tell me that those people were not added to my session. So now when I close this little window, I'll go back and I'll see that list of people that I imported, I added one by one, or enrolled a group to get onto that session. They all have training history for that course, and if they needed, that would satisfy a training requirement. So again, multiple ways of getting training history in, but if you just find yourself with sign-in sheets and don't have a scheduled session out there to move, don't let that make you hesitate from updating that history directly in VTA. If you have any questions, thoughts, or additional videos that you'd like to see, don't ever hesitate to let us know at VTA support@risk-inc.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.